Right everyone, it is Finn here and welcome back to another World Cup Wednesday where today I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about Argentina for the 2022 World Cup. Now I feel like it's been quite some time since I've last done a World Cup Wednesday.
It's been 84 years.
But as the tournament is at the end of the year, I thought I might as well pick it up again. And today we've got an absolutely gigantic nation to talk about, as it is going to be Argentina. Now, of course, the reason I say it's a gigantic nation is because heading into this World Cup, I believe a lot of people think of Argentina as the favourites to win it overall. And I mean, I don't see why not. Obviously, they've got a lot of confidence heading into this World Cup, picking up 2 pieces of silverware in the last year. I mean, if you just look at their team, they've improved tenfold since the 2018 World Cup. I would say in almost every single position, and that is why in today's video we're going to be talking about this Argentinian national team, their current form at the moment, their group for the World Cup, their chances of winning the tournament, and of course ultimately what their best possible starting 11 is heading into the World Cup. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, before just like Neymar on the 2018 World Cup we dive straight into things, I want to remind you guys that obviously if you're not subscribed, to make sure to subscribe down below. As I said, if you enjoy World Cup content, I've created quite a bit of it already.
Oh, that's hot.
And I plan to do a lot more before the World Cup. So of course we are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and if we could reach that, dare I say, before the end of the year, I would very much appreciate it. But of course, just jumping straight into things, looking at Argentina for this World Cup, as I said, heading into this tournament, they're going to have, dare I say, a buttload of confidence. Obviously, picking up both the Copa America and the Finalissima trophy over the last year of football, they look seriously strong at the moment, and they've got a lot of confidence. And obviously, heading to the World Cup, being in a group with Mexico, Poland, and Saudi Arabia, no disrespect to those 3 teams, but they should be the outright favourites to win that group. Yes, as I said, the other 3 teams all have potential to surprise on the big stage, but looking at Argentina, their current form, they've got no excuse but to win it.
The pitch was dry, stuff like this.
And also having opposition like that within your group, I feel like it's not the strongest group in the tournament. It's not a group of death by any means. It does allow Argentina to mix and match their team throughout the group stage. It does allow them to rotate their team and keep their strongest 11 for later stages in the tournament. Obviously, in terms of the way I believe Argentina should set up for this tournament, I think a 4-2-3-1 formation is probably best. Obviously, I mean, it's a formation that's won 2 trophies for Argentina in the last year. I think it would be slightly silly if they changed anything about that. Now, diving into what I believe is the best possible squad for Argentina in the World Cup, well, between the posts, although Argentina do have quite a few options they could go with, it has to be no other than Emi Martinez. Now, although Aston Villa haven't been great over the last season or so, as we know, Emi Martinez has been a beast of a goalkeeper, a proper leader between the posts, and has been, well, other than Lionel Messi, who, it's surprise, surprise, may or may not be in the squad later on, he has been the single most important player in this Argentinian national team. He's been a huge part to them winning both pieces of silverware over the last year, as we know, a brilliant penalty stopper. He's got a lot of confidence in his own ability, and Emi Martinez, once again, brilliant world-class goalkeeper, I would call him, and he has to start for Argentina. Once again, who could have guessed that good old little Neil Maupay entering Burnt Leno would somehow lead to Messi lifting his first piece of silverware with Argentina? Once again, things we love to see, but Emi Martinez has to be in the squad. Obviously, looking at the back 4 for Argentina, as we know, over the years, Argentina have had some good and some not so good defenders over the years. But looking at the back 4, I think Argentina need to stick with. I've gone for Tagliafico on the left back side. I've gone for Molina on the right back side. And as a centre back partnership, I've gone for Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero. Now, in terms of the best possible centre-back partnership before we go to the fullbacks, I did ask you guys on my community tab who you thought was the best centre-back partnership, and the outright favourites was Martinez and Christian Romero. Now, of course, that does mean that there's no space for the likes of Nicolas Otamendi, which once again, a very, very solid centre-back, and to be realistic, he probably will get game time. As I said, I expect Argentina to fully rotate their squad throughout the group stage, so worry not, he will get game time. But looking at Lisandro Martinez, he's had a terrific start to Manchester United. Many people are arguing that he was probably too small for Manchester United, but he's currently the player keeping captain Harry Maguire out of the squad. Obviously, 2 Man of the Match awards in his first 4 Premier League games. Looking at Lisandro Martinez, although he's not the biggest centre-back around, he's got the aggressiveness and he's got the ability to keep in the squad. And I mean, heading into this World Cup, Argentina could have 2 24-year-old centre-backs, which I mean, if this works out well for them, they are set for the next 2 to 3 World Cups. Obviously, looking at Christian Romero, he's just signed a brand new contract with Tottenham Hotspurs to keep him there till 2027. And as we know, once again, an absolutely brilliant young centre-back, obviously coming from the Serie A. As we know, for Argentina, Argentina was absolutely brilliant and a huge part of them winning the Copa America. I mean, if you compare Christian Romero to other centre-backs from around the world over the last year, in terms of his percentiles, he's in the top 98 percentile in terms of pressures applied, he's in the top 99 percentile in tackles made, and he's in the top 93 percentile for blocks made per 90 minutes. Looking at Christian Romero, if you put a player like him next to Lisandro Martinez, I believe that might just be the unbreakable centre-back partnership Argentina have been waiting for a very, very long time. Now, as I said, in terms of the left and the right back, in terms of the left back, I've gone for Tagliafico. Now, for my personal opinion, I feel like you could put Marcus Acuna in that position as well, and it would probably have a similar effect. I feel like they're both very, very similar players. But looking at Tagliafico, he's recently made a move from Ajax to Lyon, and I believe that Lyon are going to have a very, very good season, and that's a huge part to why I put him in here. I believe he's going to have that confidence, and he's going to carry that confidence over from Lyon to the Argentinian national team. Obviously, as we know, has been a proper left back that has been linked to some of the top clubs around Europe for many, many years. Although 29 years old, not the youngest player around anymore. As we know, he's got great ability in him. Obviously, in the right back side, as I mentioned a tiny bit earlier, it is going to be Nahuel Molina, which as a right back, I'm going to be honest, I hadn't heard too much about in the past. But obviously, the former Udinese right back has just made a move to Atletico Madrid. And looking at a player like him, he looks to be a really solid option. Dare I say, the best right back they've had since Zabaleta in this team. I mean, looking at him, he got 7 goals from the right back position for Udinese last season. That is absolutely brilliant. And if you put an attacking, proper modern day fullback in that position, with Tagliafico on the left back side, once again, that might just be the perfect fullback partnership for Argentina. As I said, I believe that these are players that perfectly fit the system, and it's going to be interesting to see how he does for both Atletico Madrid and Argentina. I mean, once again, only 16 appearances despite the fact he made his debut in 2021. He seems to be the first choice right back option for Argentina at the moment, so I don't see why they'll change it. Now, yes, I know I've missed some big names in defense so long, from Foyth in the right back position, obviously Otamendi, obviously Senesi, and some other really big names. But once again, as I said, Argentina have a lot of depth in their squad. They will be able to rotate, but this is what I genuinely believe the best back four is. Now, heading into the midfield, this is where it gets slightly interesting. Obviously, the two main midfielders I've gone for is De Paul and Lo Celso. Now, looking at De Paul, once again, much like obviously the right back I just mentioned with Molina, both of them coming from Udinese to Atletico Madrid, two brilliant Argentines. Now, looking at Rodrigo De Paul, as we know in terms of midfielders, I wouldn't say that he's necessarily a master at a specific trade. He's not the best attacking midfielder out there, nor is he the best defensive midfielder, but he's been a huge part to recent success for Atletico Madrid and Argentina. In terms of the midfielder, he's one of those players who can probably do it all. He is one of those players that can win the ball in defense. He's one of those very aggressive yet very intelligent midfielders, and he can start off attacking play. And I mean, looking at the attack Argentina's going to have later on in the squad, you don't need a midfielder like Kevin De Bruyne who's going to bang out 15 goals. Looking at De Paul, I believe that he is the perfect kind of midfielder that Argentina have been looking for a very, very long time. And as I said, if you put him next to someone like Lo Celso, I believe that could be the perfect midfield partnership. Now, once again, looking at a player like Lo Celso, currently 26 years old, on loan at Villarreal from Tottenham Hotspurs, he has had a huge part in Argentina qualifying for this World Cup, scoring 5 goals or getting 5 assists in 11 games. Once again, if you put a creative player like him next to Rodrigo De Paul, once again, it could be perfect for Argentina. I think looking at Lo Celso, he's one of those players that if you don't watch him, you don't quite realize how absolutely brilliant he is. And it really does make up for in 2018, for example. Although someone like Javier Mascherano is one of the best midfielders of all time, or even one of the best defenders of all time, unfortunately, he was slightly slow in the World Cup, and making up with that with younger legs this World Cup could have a huge benefit for Argentina. Now, jumping into our, attacking midfield three, I guess, with our striker up front, we start off in the attacking midfield position with Lionel Messi. Now, I mean, how on earth do I sell the idea of Lionel Messi to football fans? It's like trying to sell a bone to a dog. You don't need to. But obviously, looking at Lionel Messi, he's obviously the captain of this national team, their top goal scorer of all time. Although he didn't have a good season at all with PSG last season, although some might say, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still got 20 league goal contributions for them, although only 6 goals in 26 games. But looking at him this season for PSG, he's already gotten 3 goals in 4 games, and I believe this is going to be a season that Lionel Messi really strives in, and dare I say, he might even be able to pick up another Ballon d'Or next year with the tournaments that are coming up for him. Obviously, at the end of the day, as I said, Lionel Messi, he's not a player that I really have to sell the idea to you guys. I mean, the football world and even non-footballers know who this man is. Although he is getting older, still a world-class player, and I believe he will have a brilliant tournament. I mean, we obviously saw him in the Finalissima trophy, and obviously the Copa America last year, where he was crucial to them winning those trophies. Once again, it's Lionel Messi. I don't have to sell the idea to you guys. Obviously, in terms of the two winger options, I've gone for Paulo Dybala on the left wing side and Di Maria on the right wing side. Now, of course, both of these two wingers scored goals in the Finalissima final, proving that they are big game players. The only player I'm slightly worried about is Paulo Dybala, who, don't get me wrong, an absolutely brilliant player. Obviously, for Juventus and in the Serie A, has gotten 98 goals and over 50 assists for them. But at the end of the day, for this Argentinian national team, I don't know whether it's because he isn't quite given the game time due to how competitive it is, but he hasn't necessarily been brilliant in terms of his numbers. Only 3 goals in 34 games. For a player who is approaching his 30s, that's not necessarily great. But we all know Paulo Dybala, in terms of his ability, he's an absolutely brilliant player. He's recently just gotten his first assist with Roma, and once again with goals and assists for club, he has been a brilliant player, so it all depends whether he can carry over that form. But working under someone like Jose Mourinho this season, I'm sure he'll pick up a few tips and tricks. Now obviously in the right wing side is going to be a player by the name of Angel Di Maria. Once again, not one of those players I have to sell the idea to you. He is a big game player, obviously scoring in the Finalissima and Copa America final. Maybe in those finals, the most important player. Looking at a player like Di Maria, he is one of those players that season in, season out for, I would say, 10 years, has been absolutely phenomenal, but has been overshadowed due to some of his teammates. I mean, even in a team with Messi, Mbappe and Neymar, his numbers were absolutely brilliant. On his Juventus debut now, he got a goal and an assist on his debut. Once again, Di Maria, one of the best players in the world that goes heavily underrated and has to start for Argentina. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that takes us to our number 9 up front. It is going to be the third Martinez in this team with Lautaro Martinez. I don't know what Argentina did here. Maybe they saw a Martinez special somewhere, 3 for the price of 1. But looking at Lautaro Martinez, once again, another player who has been brilliant for years, and I'm sure he will be for Inter Milan this season, now that Lukaku is back, his best friend, his bromance. But looking at Martinez, once again, 2 goals and 1 assist in 3 games for Inter so far this season. Throughout his career, has gotten 76 goals and 25 goals for Inter, over 100 goal contributions. Once again, he's one of those players that just fits the system perfectly. Another player who scored in the Finalissima trophy. And once again, I mean, he's still seriously young. I mean, to be his age, to be in his mid-20s, to have gotten, 7 goals and 3 assists in World Cup qualifiers, I think Martinez, putting him up front, is going to have such a big impact on this Argentinian national team. I believe he's going to have kind of a free roaming kind of running role, and Lionel Messi will be able to join him. And once again, looking at this Argentinian national team, the amount they've improved since the previous World Cup is absolutely insane. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below whether you would make any changes to this national team. Obviously, as I said, I know there are a lot of players that could fit into this Argentinian team. Obviously, there are some players that are in form or could really fit into this team. Someone like McAllister, for example, from Brighton, as weird as that sounds. But obviously, as we know, this team is something that has an immense amount of talent. I mean, you look at a player like Higuain, who's been crucial to this team for years. Obviously, he's kind of retired from the Argentinian national team, but you still have a player like Martinez. This national team is so talented, but I believe we could see something very special. Dare I say, they could win the World Cup. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do like if you did end up enjoying this video, and of course, subscribe if you are not subscribed already. But I'll see you all very soon with some more World Cup content. This has been Finn, FYNN. Until next time, cheers.